Welcome back as we continue spring sports on Coach's Corner, and we're going to talk Wildcat baseball for the first time on Coach's Corner. Coach Freeman joins us, and after a little bit of a slow start, your team's playing much better right now, aren't they, Coach?
Started out 0-8, and we're 7-15 now, so 7-7 in our last 14. So certainly an improvement from that challenging start that we had.
For those people that don't follow it quite as closely, though, you could be pretty good and start out 0-8 with the schedule that you played too.
It was kind of the perfect storm this year. Ended up only having 2 starters back off of last year's team. I hate using that young term because we're not that young. We were just inexperienced, and our pitching wasn't quite ready for those challenging games. And you know, we played a lot of really good ball clubs early, so none of us liked it. Hopefully we put that in the rear view, and we're past all that stuff, and we can start playing our best ball from here on out.
You really have to keep looking forward, don't you? Especially with a district schedule. The state's changed the way they determine playoffs this year. They've gone to a district schedule, and really, although you started out slow in district play, a doubleheader sweep over Sapulpa a week and a half ago, and you kind of threw yourself, maybe not in the district race, but you can position yourself to finish better in the district now too.
That's correct. You know, we talked with the kids. I mean, the first 3 spots, you know, is Sand Springs, Jenks, and Mustang. I mean, all of them are 7-1. So probably not talking about catching that bunch, but Union 5-3. Enid's 4-4 coming in tonight to play us. So we're, you know, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about that 4, 5, 6 spot right now. We're in the 6, and we'd like to work ourselves up into that 4 or 5 spot and improve our regional draw.
And you've got some good wins this year. You beat Muskogee, you beat Sapulpa twice, so you're probably, as you continue to go through the season, you're in the middle part of that 6A mix right now.
I think so. You know, the rough start made it seem probably a lot worse than it was. We tell the kids all the time, you're not as bad as your worst loss, and you're not as good as your best win. We're probably somewhere in between. So we're probably a middle-of-the-pack type team this year. We're pretty competitive when we have our top 2 or 3 on the mound, and then unfortunately for us so far this year, we don't have the pitching depth to get us through 5, 6 games a week, and that's kind of reared its ugly head a few times for us. But I still like the way that our kids responded to the adversity of the difficult start, and didn't fold up and didn't start listening to the critics, so to speak, and really kept fighting and playing through it. So I think there's better days ahead for us.
Well, pitching is such a key, and you got Chris Law, who's throwing really good for you right now, and then Josh Evans is a good pitcher. Parker Lovall has thrown some real fine innings for you, and then you kind of mix and match some of those other kids in there, and so far this year, especially when you've got Chris on the mound, you got a chance to just about beat anybody, don't you?
We really do. Chris has thrown his last 4 starts. He's only given up 1 unearned run, and then his last 3 starts have all been shutouts. So, 28 innings of 1 unearned run ball is as good as anybody in the state. Then Josh and Parker, like you talked about, they've given us some good innings. We don't have anybody on our staff that's going to, throw the ball by anybody by any means. But we've got to spot up and throw strikes and keep people off balance. And Josh and Parker are going to kind of split the duties tonight. Josh Evans will probably get started against Enid, then Parker will come in behind, and hopefully we'll mix them up and keep them off balance. And Enid, from what I hear, is a really good offensive team. They really hit the fastball well, so we're going to try and pitch them backwards and get them out, and then we'll have Chris Law for them tomorrow at their place.
Enid at home tonight at 7 o'clock, and then you go to Enid, you mentioned, on Tuesday. The home dates are kind of running out there as we get into this part of the season, aren't they, Coach?
We are. I think 4 left, possibly. Enid, Bartlesville, U.S. Grant, and Tulsa Union is our home slate that we have left. So we'll, we talk to our kids all the time about being road warriors. So we'll definitely get on that bus and visit some places coming up here pretty quick.
Well, and hitting the ball early was difficult, I think, probably because you saw a lot of the other teams' number 1 and 2 starters, some of those real fine teams on the eastern side, and we mentioned the Mustang team. But your young hitters at the top of your lineup, Edens is your leadoff man, and then Lovall, and then you got Ragland, who's another guy who has really picked it up. Evans is a good left-handed bat, and then Jenkins back in your lineup really gives your lineup a little different look, doesn't it?
Oh, we missed him for sure. I mean, I'm sure if anybody was there against Sepulpa saw his impact pretty quick, what he does from the left side of the plate. Really lengthens our lineup, gives us some more depth. He can run, got good speed, pretty good bat, and he's one of our few returning starters that we had from last year. So getting him back, I think, infused a little bit of life and energy into our lineup. Obviously, he came up big with 5 RBIs against Sepulpa in that doubleheader and really sparked us. So it's getting there. Like you said, we faced some premium pitching early against Jinx and Sand Springs, and it made our offensive stats probably look a little bit worse than they really were. But, we're as a team hitting up in the 280s now. We'd like to get over 300. And like you said, with the district play, it guarantees you're going to see people's number 1 and number 2. With Enid tonight, I don't know. They came off a big win against Sand Springs on Saturday. They beat them 12-5, so we're kind of hoping that Enid threw their 1 and 2 against Sand Springs, and pitching matchups will maybe be in our favor a little bit. But we still got to play defense. Offense needs to continue to come around. We need better balance 1 through 9. We can't have just wasted at bats. So there's still a lot of work to be done for us to get to where we want to be, which is peaking at the right time, which is that last week of April, first week of May.
Well, that's a good win, because Sand Springs, they don't get as much publicity as Union and Jinx and Broken Arrow, but I think they probably, coaches would see a team that's every bit as capable of winning the state championship in Sand Springs.
They are 20-2. They knocked off Broken Arrow this week. They're as good as anybody. So there's not that one team this year in 6A baseball that's kind of identified themselves as, hey, we're in a different category. But you put Broken Arrow, Owasso, Sand Springs, Edmond, Santa Fe all up there together, and it's really anybody's game. And from what I've seen, I was as impressed with Sand Springs as I was anybody else in the state.
The other part of your team that really looks like it's improved early in the season, I know you were concerned, and we talked, the guys would make an error or two, and it seemed like it would snowball and you'd lose close games, but defense has really gotten better this season, hasn't it?
Defense is the strength of our team right now. Outside of 2 games, we've really played good defense, and that's such a benefit when you're waiting on your offense to come around and you're waiting for those the arms. I mean, our pitching struggled really bad early in the season, but they've seen a progression, and they know they've got a defensive unit behind them that's going to really help them out. So I've been really happy with our defensive efforts this year, and hopefully that continues.
You mentioned the mix of players, and a lot of people don't realize you're doing this with a freshman catcher, a 9th grader, a Missourier, who's terrific. I mean, the upside on him. But you also have 3 or 4 9th grade pitchers that you haven't been afraid to throw in there, and they've responded too. So, if you're looking to kind of mix in some of those younger guys with the upperclassmen, you've got a nice mix there too.
I think so. I mean, we've only got 4 seniors left on the roster this year, and now we're down to 3. We lost 1 to injury for the rest of the year. That's going to keep him sidelined. But we've got a good balance. We're really high on that 9th grade bunch. Physically they're going to have to obviously develop to get to a 6A varsity level, but there's guys like Blake Shepard and Austin Emmel and Matt Williams in Dalton, Missouri, or Travis Nichols. They've got, we've got 7, 8 pretty good arms in that group that we're really looking forward to working with the next few years here. And then, like you said, you put them back there with the Missouri kid behind the dish, and we're pretty excited about the future. And then, we don't have a junior high baseball program, but we've heard a lot of good things about some 8th graders coming up. So you put you start putting 2, 3 classes in a row together. You start, talking about making another run and having some pretty good seasons. So we're certainly not looking past this season. I don't want it to come across that way, but just, as a head coach, you always look to the future too. So we're looking for better things this year and better things in the future as well.
Good luck against Enid tonight, Coach. Jared Freeman, baseball coach on Coach's Corner.